wiser feller than myself once said, sometimes you eat the turd sandwich, sometimes the turd sandwich, well, it eats you.
And welcome, everyone, to the Dismay Comics Podcast.
Brandon,
Yes.
top 10 hottest furry girls, go.
Hottest furry girls?
Yeah, like furry
Trying to think.
characters, go. Top 10
Yeah.
hottest. Here we go.
Okay.
Let's learn some things about you today.
Okay, I might not have a top 10, but I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. If you throw some out there, I might say yay or nay.
Lola Bunny.
She's not in like the top 5, but she's in the latter. She would be in a top 10.
Okay.
Should be in a top
Like
10.
original Space Jam Lola Bunny?
Okay. Sorry, I was thinking of.
Sorry, I should have been more specific about which version. It's like original Space Jam Lola Bunny.
No. For some reason I was thinking of that Pokemon.
Oh, Lopunny.
No, Lola Bunny's definitely top 5.
Rouge the Bat.
Rouge the Bat. Oh,
from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Rouge.
I might have a deeper well of furry characters than you do.
Yeah. I think Lola Bunny is still higher on the list because Lola Bunny's more human looking.
Yeah, definitely.
Would Felicia from that one video game count?
From Darkstalkers?
Yeah.
Does she count?
She is like
I guess,
animal.
Yeah, for our purposes.
Okay.
I mean, I think she technically qualifies as a Nekomimi, but that's close enough.
Felicia's top 3 for sure.
What about Gadget from Rescue Rangers?
Gadget from Rescue Rangers. Let me see.
Yeah, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Gadget. Oh, no. She looks like a child.
Yeah, she does. She was the sexual awakening for a lot of guys our age, weirdly enough. The sexual furry awakening. Let me think of some more. Hang on, give me a second. Luna from Hell of a Boss.
Luna.
It's going to be Luna with 2 O's instead of a U, in case you need to Google her.
Gotcha. It's the wolf head for me. Not
she has human form.
Okay. I think this is human form. Oh, it just looks like a goth emo chick. Okay.
Yeah. So like literally right up our alley. Me and Brandon have discovered over our various trips to cons, we have very similar tastes in women.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. I'm done with the bit. I can't think of any more.
Teo is lying. He has 20 more lined up. He just doesn't want to out himself. Yeah, but arrange those however you want. But Felicia's definitely at the top of whatever list we just had.
Dude, if you look up femme versions of Beast from Beauty and the Beast, that's like Dream Girl material.
Oh my God. Why do I have to put this in my Google search? Let's see. I would be typing quicker, but my mic is kind of on my keyboard, so I have to navigate around it. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. It's so weird that people do this, but yeah, I get what you mean.
I know. It's like Bowsette adjacent as far as like the way.
Yeah.
Do, but like, come on, man! If they've got a talent for art, so like they're at least using it to do the Lord's work.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't even think it's really the artists that do this. I think it's the people, the weirdo people that are commissioning them to do it.
Weirdo's a little harsh.
No. Sorry if you're listening and you're into all this Rule 34 stuff, but some of it's pretty weird. But yeah. So, now I'm thinking about that when we were at MobyCon.
Yeah,
I had the sexy Bowser banner.
Yeah. Yep, the big plus size Bowser with the giant boobs.
Yeah.
Now, listeners, it was not Bowsette. It was not a plus size Bowsette with giant boobs. It was plus size Bowser with giant boobs.
Yeah. And they were just barely covered up, as well as okay, not trying to get too far, but the lower region, I think, was still Bowser, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
I don't remember either. The boobs drew so much attention.
but listener, we're not perverts. This was a banner
was
right across. Well, trying not to be. This was a banner that was right across from us, maybe 10 to 20 yards, but it was a huge banner.
Staring us in the face.
It was such a big banner, and it was yes, things were covered up, but just barely. This is a 10-foot banner, maybe taller. I don't even remember how tall it was.
Yep.
But yeah, I was just laughing the whole time because I was just thinking, this is technically a family event. But yeah, it was all good. But yeah, so speaking of big lizard monsters
with fancy breath weapons, yes,
with fancy breath weapons as well as big boobs.
Only some of the fan art. I'm not into those ones. So Godzilla, X Kong, the new gay romance movie between two giant monsters just came out, and neither me nor Brandon have seen it.
What are you talking about? We've both seen it.
I was okay. Yeah, we've seen it, and we're gonna give a review of it.
Yeah, we're going to discuss parts of the plot that we like, parts of the plot we didn't like.
Yeah.
Overall review.
Yeah,
I know I had mentioned weeks ago that I wouldn't go see this movie, but I got dragged into seeing this movie, so I saw it.
Yeah, Madam Web style.
Madam Web style.
He got dragged into it.
But surprisingly, not really surprisingly, this was actually a lot better than Madam Web.
It was.
There are things I didn't like about it. But for starters, I could have used more Baby Kong, because if you've seen the trailer, listener, obviously this is spoilers. We're going to give spoilers, so go see the movie before you hear us talk about it. But if you've seen the trailers, you've seen a little mini monkey, little mini ape. When I first watched that trailer, I was thinking okay, that's Godzilla's, or not Godzilla, Kong's son or Kong's grandson or his nephew or something, little ape related to Kong. But no, these movies got wild. In the last movie, it got wild with going to the center of the earth and all that stuff. This got wild. They go through weird, almost multiversal time dilation type stuff, to where that little monkey thing you saw, that's Kong by the end of this movie. And I'm not a fan of that approach. Now, eventually he did get turned back into regular Kong.
Yeah, and the visuals behind those transformation sequences were interesting too. The whole bit where he was floating inside of the giant glowing uterus outside the Earth's atmosphere, and he's reverted into Baby Kong, and then he comes down and he crashes down and does a superhero landing.
I actually thought that was cool. I know this movie is full of dumb stuff. That was one of the dumb things that I thought was I was into it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that the giant pair of shades they gave him to wear for like that fight was a little over the top, but it's these movies are what they are.
Yeah, but I, as dumb as it is, like Mechagodzilla, that's already a dumb idea. They did that in the previous movie, so you can do dumb stuff, and they gave explanation of why they would do dumb big shades. Like it's not like Ray-Bans, listener. It doesn't look like Ray-Bans, but it does kind of look like,
they kind of look like aviators.
Yeah, it does kind of look like aviators in a way. I thought it was kind of cool. They explain it. I know it's dumb. It's just like dumb saying Mechagodzilla, but they explain it because of Godzilla's new heightened power ability. Like that. You saw, listener, the trailer where he has the pink spikes and all that. He has this heightened power ability to where when he does any type of blast or anything, it's almost like a solar flare. Like if you've seen Dragon Ball, like when Goku does a solar flare, it's like that. It's like blinding light. And so for Godzilla and Kong to partner up, they had to protect Kong. Like in that fight. So they had to do the shades.
And the thing is, one of the more interesting sequences of the movie though is the whole like bureaucratic process where like Godzilla had to petition Congress to let him get that solar flare power.
Yeah.
Like the bit where he was at the hearing and he said, "Ah!" Like that was but genuinely moving.
See, Teo's like kind of downplaying that scene a little bit. Now, what they did have, Rachel What's-Her-Face's character from the Kong movies, she has like this device that essentially, yes, she's more focused on Kong, but she's between these movies, she developed this device that you can basically understand what they're saying, both Kong and Godzilla. And so kind of in like trying to get this ability, because they didn't know that Kong would need these shades, basically, these giant shades. Godzilla is the one that knew that Kong would need these shades. So Godzilla this whole time, like he's doing all this stuff, wreaking havoc and stuff, and we're like, why is he doing this? Rachel, whatever her character's name is, she's also like, why is he doing this?
I don't think
she develops that device, sets it up, and that's when Godzilla's like, hey, like you gotta throw something on the ape. Like I'm gonna hurt the ape. We gotta team up, me and ape, but you gotta put something on the ape so that he doesn't get hurt by my pink epicness. He doesn't say that exactly, but that's paraphrasing.
I say my pink epicness. It sounds like what my ex-wife used to call it. All right. But yeah, and then like there's this really like epic moment where like the Scar King, he's whipping that like spine thing around. And Kong catches it like with his teeth as Baby Kong and like holds it in place. It's almost like an anime where he's got it in his jaw with his teeth. And then the thing is like the ice lizard, whatever it's called, excuse me, was running at the time, and he trips the ice lizard and he trips right into Godzilla's arms, and Godzilla picks him up and suplexes him onto the Scar.
Yeah, that was epic. And my one issue is like they weren't able to capture like human scale like super well in this movie. That's my biggest issue with the movie. But in that felt epic because that was the one time they actually did capture that human scale. Where like it's ground level and you're just seeing like it wasn't really slow-mo, but yeah, you see Godzilla like catch him and just like this epic like tons of mass suplex happen. And like when the suplex happens, there's just like the wind ripple effects. Like I thought that was cool. Like you saw characters like they didn't get blown over, but they're 1,000+ feet away, and the suplex is just such a big impact that
the shockwave still like reaches.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was epic.
Yeah, that one guy's cowboy hat got blown off.
Yeah. That was a good touch.
Now my favorite thing though in the whole movie, I think, and it's a shame this turned out to be temporary because it went away by the end. But after Baby Kong turns into an adult Kong again, he got a nuclear laser penis, where he would shoot
didn't
basically like Godzilla's nuclear breath out of a giant engorged gorilla penis.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So here's the thing, listener. They didn't show that. That is what happened. They because it's PG-13. Obviously, you can't show that. That's pretty messed up. But it was like waist up, and you saw like back shots. Sometimes you saw like from behind.
They showed the shadow of it on the ground.
You didn't see the shadow. You saw the shadow of the beam for sure. But you saw
the shadow of the beam
where the beam you saw where the beam was coming from. Like, even though we're seeing the back of Kong, like you see it's lower. It's not his hands, it's not his chest, it's clearly in the pelvic region. That's where it's coming from. Again, these movies are big and dumb.
Yeah.
I'm happy they went the fully dumb route. I thought that was epic.
And that's why he needs the gauntlet on that arm, is it's a brace for the carpal tunnel he gets from charging up the laser.
Yeah. No, that and that's something that, like, so there's the whole thing I mentioned before, like the big human plot was the developing the vocational machine to where we can understand both Godzilla and Kong, sort of thing, so that we can communicate with them and see what they need. And that was one of the things that Godzilla mentioned, along with the shades thing. He had mentioned, like, for us to win this battle, I have to transfer some of my energy into Kong. And so what you're going to need, like, he's not going to be able to have the atomic breath that I do. He doesn't entirely say this is paraphrasing, but he says essentially he's not going to be able to do atomic breath. It's not going to be able to come out of his mouth. So it's likely going to be a lower region. Now, Godzilla didn't know if it was going to be like penis or butt, like what would happen with Kong. He knew it'd be one of them. But they made that gauntlet, like Teo said, so that he could control the beam. Luckily, he was lucky that it wasn't because they were building that gauntlet like right before the big battle was happening. He's lucky it was like his penis that happened with, because if it was the other way, if it was his butt, like, they would have needed that second gauntlet. And that Rachel character even like commented on that, like, oh, thank goodness it wasn't his butt, because like he would have to hold both cheeks open. Yeah, you need 2 gauntlets for that.
Yeah, he would need to spread wide to get all that laser power out. So yeah, but yeah, it shrunk back down to normal Kong size by the end, and so where it's like hidden under his fur and all that.
Yeah.
He only got to keep it as like a temporary power up, so basically, so they could reset it to 0 for the next one.
Yeah, it was basically all of Godzilla's energy that he thrusted into Kong. Kong then thrusted it out, and it was all used up.
Yeah, all that energy that got transferred from Godzilla's mouth. Sorry.
It's big and stupid, listener, but it was, I don't know. I liked how stupid it went, because my biggest issue with the last one was like, this is stupid, but it's not stupid enough. Yeah. And so I like when they go even dumber. So that's what I liked about this movie is how stupid it got. Like,
oh, yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, I don't have much critiques really. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but I did enjoy it. It felt like a $200 million B movie, and that's what I wanted from this.
All right, breaking the bit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If like the things that we described in the fight scenes were actually a little bit plausible. I mean, obviously not the laser penis, but if even a little bit of that happens in the movie, because I want to go see it tonight.
Yeah.
I'll be like, heck yeah, we know how these movies think. I heard there's like a 10-minute fight scene in it.
Yeah, I would expect a 10-minute fight scene.
I would certainly hope so. Yeah. And that they're finally learning to focus the camera where people want to see things.
Yeah. Well, focus it to where people want to see things, but I want those human level shots. Like, I don't really like the and that, I think that's part of why. Okay, listener, yeah, the bit's completely done. We're lying. If you've seen it, and if any of that is true, that is incredible. But
especially the laser penis bit.
Yeah. If any part of that happens, like Hollywood, if any of that happens, we're just like, we're prophets for stupid Hollywood movies. If any of that happens. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Oh yeah, like my issue, which might be one of the reasons I'm not going to go see this in theater, is like some of the big monster stuff that happens in the trailer and stuff. Like, it doesn't feel scaled or epic like it did in the previous movies. Like, it feels like Godzilla and Kong are like these like 200-foot tall creatures, whereas when you look at the trailer, they feel like they're human size.
Yeah.
Like how fast they're running. And I know a lot of it takes place at the center of the earth, and center of the earth, it's all this giant stuff and all that. But I don't give a crap about any of that stuff. I'm sorry for those that love that center of the earth stuff. I do not care about any of that. But I want the shots where it's like almost human scale, or like a helicopter scale. And we see like not entirely slow punches, but you see the power and the weight to these creatures fighting.
Yeah. For me, I just want good creative fights.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Do interesting things with the way that the monsters are shaped. Do interesting things with the way their powers work. That's all I'm asking.
So do what we said with the laser.
Yeah.
Godzilla transfers that to Kong, and Kong expels that.
And he transfers it to Kong in the way you think he would have to.
Yeah.
Because Godzilla's lasers come out of his mouth.
Yeah. And then it's just all built up right there in Kong, and he's just like, ah, ah. That's when the laser happens.
Yeah. That's why he needs the brace on his arms, so that he doesn't get carpal tunnel from
so powerful.
The laser.
Yeah.
And the noises he makes. Ugh.
It would have been so much more. I would have liked the movie more had they had time to make the second gauntlet, and it turned out to be the other direction. You had to spread open and just
Mr. Shapiro.
Mr. Feeney, I'm a big fan of your feet.
I signed the NDA, and so did you.
So neither of us have seen Godzilla versus Kong, New Empire.
Godzilla
Theo's going to see it. What is it?
Godzilla X Kong.
X Kong, whatever.
Yeah, Godzilla multiplied by Kong. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. That's the next
step,
right? Like, like the humans create a combined clone of Godzilla and Kong.
Oh yeah, but they do it like composite Superman, where literally just half of it is Kong, then the other half is Godzilla, like split down the middle. But yeah, Teo's going to see that tonight. I will see it eventually. I'll probably catch it streaming.
Because I've stated on the podcast before, I want to go to the theater more this year.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might be asking why it's so expensive and everything's on streaming later. Because I care about the experience generally. And
the theater experience is great, aside from those occasional times where you do have not the best audience with you.
Yeah, like
or sometimes it could be the auditorium is just bad, like the screen or whatever.
Yeah, for me it's I don't have bad audience experiences often. I mean, every once in a while there will be like just someone like an annoying person in there. But like for the most part, like that's pretty rare. And yeah, every once in a while I'll get kind of like a, the dingy little corner at the back of the AMC where they throw up the movies that no one cares about. That's usually reserved for like
all the anime stuff.
I was gonna say the anime stuff, like artsy foreign films and things like that.
Yeah.
The anime films that aren't the big popular shonen things like Demon Slayer and My Hero.
Yeah. If a new Ghibli, or if they're doing Ghibli Fest, or even a new Ghibli movie like The Boy and the Heron, it gets thrown back there. I've seen it every year.
Yeah, that's how I like a back of the theater auditorium is how I saw Belle. It's how I saw The Deer King.
Yeah.
How I saw what's another one? I can't remember any others that I see in the theaters that would have been quite. Oh, weirdly enough, the re-release of the Cowboy Bebop movie was kind of in like a back of the theater auditorium. But then again, like me and Michael were amongst like 6 other people in that whole auditorium.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
I guess that's the thing is like it stinks that it is in like their weakest auditorium in terms of screen size, sound, size of auditorium. But of all the ones I've went to, like it's me and maybe at most 20 other people. So it's like, yeah, I get why it's put in the smaller auditorium.
Yeah, and like when it's put in a smaller auditorium and you're guaranteed that smaller audience, you kind of guaranteed a more tame audience too, because it's one of those things where only the people who actually care about it are going.
Yeah. It's not loud grandma. Yeah. It's literally, it's consumers of fine art are there.
Exactly.
Not grandma. And I know people have talked about like loud and annoying teens in theaters. And I don't live in the New York area. I don't live in the California area. We live in Northwest Florida area.
Yep.
Based on the area we've been in, I have very rarely had like annoying kids or teens as the issue in terms of audience members. It's always been people 50 or older. Like that's what it's been for me. Like anytime I have a quote unquote bad audience experience, it's always old people.
For me, there was once where it seemed like there was like a group of annoying like teenagers or young people in my theater.
Yeah.
But then as I was leaving the theater after the movie, I saw them like being held up by the police. So
okay.
It seems like they were probably being a problem in general.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's not to say I haven't had trouble with like kids or teenagers in theaters, but that's only been like 1 to 3 times at most in my life.
And every other time there's been an annoying theater goer in the auditorium with me, it's someone like around our age.
Yeah, whenever I was saying the older person thing, I have that somewhat wrong because after you'd mentioned that, it did make me think it's about 50-50. Like people our age or people 50 and older. Yeah. Like that's usually the people I have issue with. But like that's rare. That's like 1 out of 10 theater going experiences at most. And it's probably not even that. Yeah, I think the next movie I'll see in theater is Civil War. Not Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
Which is a lot happier and more tame. This is more, hey, what if the US heads into another civil war?
Yeah. Hey, isn't it a little ridiculous that the plausibility of the premise for this film actually gives you some measure of anxiety whenever you see the trailer?
Yeah, when you see the trailer, like obviously there's a ton of controversy on both sides politically. But like in terms of people watching the trailer. From what I've heard, the movie is pretty neutral. But yeah, when you see the trailer, it's like, I know this seems a bit extreme. This could happen. That's kind of bad. This could happen.
Yeah. For me, the next movie I'm seeing in the theater after Godzilla and Kong is probably Monkey Man.
Oh yeah. I will go see it if it gets pretty decent reviews. Like I'm most likely going to see it. but
Yeah,
that'll be
I might
like
even
a
just go see that
confirmation
one
for me.
this weekend because it's opening weekend as of recording is this coming
Okay.
weekend.
What the heck is coming out in April? I know Monkey Man and Civil War. That's it. Let's see. April
Oh gosh, what
for
else is coming out in April?
movies. Let's see. The First Omen. Oh boy.
Oh boy,
Another-
another Omen movie.
Another franchise prequel movie.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Woohoo.
Which, I mean, like, I'm not for doing that at all. The franchise prequel movies, especially horror stuff. But if you're going to do that, and I realized this from a trailer they made, I actually like this trailer. Make it look like a movie from the 70s, where it looks like it's on film, where it looks like a 70s horror movie.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because that's unique for today. Because if you look at all the other trailers for The First Omen, it looks like every other piece of crap horror movie that's out right now. Not saying it's going to be a piece of crap, but at the very most, it'll be meh. It is meh. It's not going to be good. No one's going to say it's good.
No.
It's going to be every other horror movie that looks like that today that is just meh or bad. But if you had shot it and filmed it and done sound to where it looks like it's in the 70s, it doesn't even have to be great, but because of that, people will be more interested to go see it because it looks unique for today.
Yeah.
But no, everything has to look the same today.
Yeah.
Let me see. Wow, is there... I think that's about it. Civil War, Monkey Man, The First Omen, Challengers, which is that Zendaya movie, the tennis movie.
The one where she has a threesome.
Yeah. that's the thing. Like whenever that first trailer came out, which it wasn't a great first trailer. The second trailer showed what the movie was actually about.
Yeah.
But yeah, once that came out, everyone was like, "Oh, this is just Zendaya threesome movie." It's like that's a part of it. That's more like
that's why I'm going to
tennis player. And that's likely why they put it in the trailer. Is like, I don't mind tennis, but at the end of the day, the average person, who gives a crap about watching a tennis movie?
Yeah.
So we got to spice it up a little bit in the trailer. Yeah, we got to spice it up in the trailer. It's already a boring concept, a tennis movie for the average American. So we got to spice it up. We can't just do like she has a love interest and things get hot and spicy with one person. It's already a boring concept. We got to up this. She has hot and spicy two love interests.
Yeah.
Ooh, there we go. And it's Zendaya. A lot of people have crush on Zendaya. Boom.
Yeah.
That's how we make our money. And then they get roped into seeing this 2-hour movie. And they're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a porn.
It's like, what the heck? There's a movie around the sex scene. What?
It's like, what's all this tennis stuff? Why are they playing? Are they going to use the rackets? Are they going to put the racket somewhere? What is this?
Is it going up her butt? Is it going up one of their butts? Whose butt is the racket going up?
Yeah. So, yeah, the marketing, at least for that first trailer, was good and wasn't good because a lot of people didn't know what the movie was about at all.
Yeah. All right. So we've got Civil War, Monkey Man, Zendaya's threesome.
We've got the new Rebel Moon movie. Woo.
Oh yeah, woohoo. Yay.
Abigail, which I might wait.
I'm kind of interested in Abigail.
It's I'll at least say this. It's somewhat unique when it comes to horror today.
It looks like campy fun along the same lines as like Megan.
Yeah, and that's what I
sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I pulled from, and that's even like in their marketing in the trailer to say from the producers of Megan. So it's yeah.
Well, we're only allowed to make little girl serial killer movies now, I guess. So
yeah, because they kind of ran like the little boy serial killer stuff in like the 90s.
Yeah.
So not this decade, but maybe next decade, that's whenever they do the revival of that. Because things just cycle. Like movies just cycle every 30 or 40 years.
You know what they do to really evolve it, to make it truly unique? It's a little boy serial killer and a little girl serial killer holding hands while they kill cereal.
Oh. See, I'd watch that.
Like it's
based on the premise.
It's a little boy. Okay, here's what it is. This might be our pitch for the day if we do end up doing it.
Okay.
A little boy who heard that like on Valentine's Day you give a heart to the girl you like, so he like actually gives her a human heart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
To the surprise of the audience, she is into that.
Oh, there we go.
And so the little boy and little girl go on a killing spree together.
Oh, and yeah, they're like no older than 12.
Yeah.
Like 12 at the oldest, but like somewhere between 9 and 12.
Yeah.
Because that'd be interesting. Because it starts off all innocent, like, and then eventually he presents her with a human heart, and they're both like, "You're great. You're great." Well, they'll say they love each other, but like, what is love when you're that old?
Yeah, when you're only 12 years old, you have no understanding of how that works. But
it's like, thanks for the heart. I'll get you a heart. We can go get a heart together.
I'll let you pick it out.
Yeah.
And then like their names have to be like a reference to something like Jack and Jill or Hansel and Gretel or Jack and Diane. Yeah. Ooh, Jack and Diane. That's a good one. You know what that one would be a reference to, right?
I'm trying to think.
A little ditty about Jack and Diane. Yeah, life goes on. Life living is gone. Someone kill me. Oh yeah, life goes on. Jeez. I don't want to be here anymore. Someone, please.
I don't want life to go on.
I don't want life to go on anymore. Please. Diane died years ago. Please just put the gun in my mouth. Pull the trigger. Make it quick. Make it happen fast.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the movies. That's about it. The last notable one is that Henry Cavill movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Oh, yeah. I figured that one was coming out soon. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like on the 19th or something.
Yeah.
I just saw a trailer for that earlier today.
Yeah. Which we even said this. We said this back in 2023 that 2024 is not going to be a hot year for movies. So
probably not. I mean, movies. I feel like the movie industry is still kind of figuring out what it is now in the wake of Marvel kind of falling out of favor.
Well, it wasn't just that. Like one of the things we talked about. Yeah. One of the things we talked about was like because of the writer strikes and the acting strikes all last year, like the movies that would come out this year, they would have been filmed at that time.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like we're getting the crumbs, we're getting the stuff that was left on the shelf.
Yeah.
Like we're getting that right now. Other than stuff like Civil War. Alex Garland's been making this stuff for a while.
But yeah, this year it's looking like like it's the fallout of the writer's strike, the fallout of Disney's really bad fiscal year last year.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cultural factors kind of piling up, and while it looks lackluster now, but I do kind of feel like by the end of the year we could have a couple of potential like bangers to look back on and be like, those movies by themselves made it a good year for movies. Like a lot of the movies coming out this year aren't going to be like high art or like, this was incredible, but there's probably going to be one or two where we can look back and be like, those movies made 2024 worth it for movies.
Yeah, like 2024 isn't going to be like 2023, where 2023 I had a top 25 movie list where like it was originally going to be a top 10 or a top 15, but there were just so many like pretty good or like really good movies to where it's like, dang it, I got to expand it. There's not going to be a top 25 for me for 2024, I'm sure. But like, yeah, the movies that are in like my top 3 or top 5 probably are going to be like really, really good. Like Dune 2, so far, based on the movies that are coming out this year, will almost definitely be in like my top 5 for the year.
Yeah. I'm really anticipating Monkey Man being good.
I hope it is. I hope it is good. Because I like the John Wick type movies. Yeah, I hope it's
Dev
good.
Patel's directing and starring.
Yeah.
With Jordan Peele producing, it's like that's kind of that right there is like at least from a marketing perspective, a recipe for success.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that comes through on the screen because I'm really excited for that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at May. Man, so at least for the first half of this year, I haven't been going to the movies that much. I guess that's kind of good. I get to save a little bit of money because I went to the movies probably 30 or more times last year.
Well, I went 3 times last year.
I went a lot because there was a ton of stuff I wanted to see. But yeah, May looks a little bit better than April. You got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, obviously going to see that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see that.
I'll wait to see reviews, but I might go see If, like the whole like Foster's Home kind of ripoff movie.
Yeah, same probably. I'll wait to hear feedback and then make a decision.
Yeah.
Fall Guy. I do want to see the Fall Guy in the theater.
Yeah, that comes out in May. Yeah, why is that not on this list I'm looking at? What the crap? These people are biased. That's a big movie. That's been getting trailers. Why is Attack of the Meth Gator on this list and not Fall Guy?
Wait, what the hell?
Attack of the Meth Gator.
Is that like a cocaine bear mockbuster?
I'm guessing so. Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh-oh. I've got wasps scouting for nests locations on the back porch.
So the premise of Meth Gator is police warned residents to refrain from flushing methamphetamine down the toilet to prevent meth gators. Down in Sweetwater Point, Florida, they didn't listen.
They specifically warned about meth gators?
That's what I was thinking, yeah. It's like, please do not flush your meth down the toilet. Just bring it in if you have to. We ain't going to arrest you. We don't want to have another meth gator situation.
The gators love that crap.
They love it. Please, just bring it in. You will not get arrested. I pinky promise.
You'll not get arrested. You don't even have to tell us where you got it from.
Yeah.
Just don't flush it down the toilet. We lost a lot of good men in the last meth gator incident.
The meth gator massacre of '88 was tragic. Lost a lot of meth that day as well. That was the most tragic thing of all.
My brother lost 3 legs in that incident. When he lost the first leg, he thought, oh, thank God, I can finally be normal. But then he lost the other 2. He's like, oh, damn it.
You know what we had to do to help him cope with that? We had to give him meth. You know what the issue was? You all flushed down the meth, so we didn't have enough meth for him.
The gators got all the meth, and then they bit off his legs.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
Oh gosh, man. Okay, so may not be a super hot year or hot month. Oh wait, okay, here we go. That list I was looking at was a sucky list. Mad Max Furiosa is May. Why was that not on the list?
Yeah, why wasn't that on the last list Brandon looked at?
Yeah, what's wrong with you people?
What's wrong with
the Garfield movie was on that list, and it's on this list as well.
Yeah.
The Garfield movie is number 3 in terms of top movies of May on this list.
I completely forgot that was happening.
Yeah. Same.
Starring Chris Pratt as Garfield.
Yeah, and of course, another horror prequel movie is coming out in May. It's The Strangers Chapter 1.
What's that a prequel to?
The Strangers.
I've never heard of it.
The first Strangers is good. They made a sequel a few years ago. I never watched it. I heard it was dog crap. The first Strangers is pretty good. It's kind of inspired by like the Manson family.
Okay.
It was scary. It was like a scary home invasion movie. There was no boogeyman. There's no monsters. It was like people, crazy.
The Manson family. Doodle-doo. Doodle-doo.
Yeah,
they're scary and they're spooky.
Yeah, you just need. Well, he's dead now, but Charles Manson could have just done his cover of that and just replace with Adams with Manson. Whoa, the Manson family. Whoa, you can't see, listener, but I'm moving everywhere because in interviews he's moving everywhere and he's acting crazy, which is weird because I think he's possibly faking it some, because how was he so charismatic and roping in all these women if he's this crazy?
And you can't see it, and I think I'm thinking of the right serial killer. But Brandon tattooed a swastika on his forehead.
Yes. Yeah. I it sucks because I did it, and then as I was doing the bit, I realized, crap, we don't do cameras on this. So I did that completely for nothing. But I think I did that to get into character of Manson. I think that was above all. I wanted to.
And also, it's not totally for nothing. If your notes to your artists are any indication, you love swastikas.
Hey,
let's get that on the record, everybody. Brandon loves swastikas.
Look, listener, I'll give some context. It's not going to sound great, but there's context. I messaged Teo earlier this week. First about this recent comic I'm making that has like weird notes that I sent to the artist, and out of context, they're very weird notes. But with context in terms of like what you've seen, the messages before in the script, it's like, okay, yeah, he's dealing with the script. But that then led me to make a mini joking list of odd requests that I've had for artists. And one of the requests was for Gallows Man #1, back when Helen and I were making that in 2021 or 2020 at that time.
Oh my goodness.
One of the requests, there's a scene. So, listener, if you have a copy of the Gallows Man, please flip to this so that you understand what I'm talking about. And this doesn't sound bad. There's a scene where Gallows Man is given a flashback about him and his former mentor sneaking into an underground Nazi base, an underground Major Swastika base. Major Swastika is the main villain of Gallows Man, and he's affiliated with the Nazi party, but he's more just insanely obsessed with the swastika itself, the image itself. And so they're sneaking into the base, and through narration, Gallows Man is like, we weren't sure if we were in the right place, blah, blah, blah. He says different stuff, and then they round a corner, and the room that they're in is just covered in swastika memorabilia. And in the narration, Gallows Man was like, I think we're in the right place. Or he says something like that. So the note that I gave to Helen, because she first did that scene where they round the corner and it shows all the Nazi memorabilia. Major Swastika is an over-the-top, dumb Nazi villain. And so I was like, this has to be more over the top. The room needs more swastika memorabilia. And so more swastika memorabilia was added to the room to add to this joke of Gallows Man being like, okay, yeah, I think we're in the right place. So that's the context for that, listener.
That's the context for more swastikas, please.
Yes, that was the note was, please. It was the Oliver Twist thing. I had my bowl
baby,
out.
darling, I would love it if you gave me more swastikas.
It was Oliver Twist going up to that fat guy, and he had his bowl out, and he was like, "Please, sir, can I have more swastika?"
Please, Sonic, can I have some of your shit?
And then that fat guy's like, "More swastikas? More swastikas? I can't believe you."
2 weeks of ball torture for you.
And then Oliver's like, "Oh no, not more ball
Not
torture."
that. As he like splays his arms out for the guards to grab him and drag him off without resistance.
So yeah, that's context, people. Before you go around canceling me, context.
Honestly, my jokes are getting cruder and edgier over time. If there's anyone giving these people ammunition to cancel them, it's me.
It's all good. Things we've heard worse in today's society.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, May is there's movies. Go watch movies.
Yeah.
Maybe the summer there'll be a good bit of stuff. There's usually good stuff in the summer.
Yeah. Summer's where they put all the good stuff. We know Deadpool and Wolverine's coming in July.
Yeah. It's coming at the end of July. I'm surprised how late in the summer.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a little crazy to think that literally the only Marvel thing out so far this year is Echo.
Yeah. I still haven't watched that.
Me
I'll
either.
get Disney Plus eventually.
I'll get around to it. I'll watch it at some point. I'll get around to it. I promise.
Yeah.
I actually want to. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody don't get on me about this. It's not. All right, I'm not putting anything off. All right.
Yeah, no, I kind of want it. Doesn't like of all the Marvel stuff, it's not like the least interested thing I'm in. I'm somewhat interested in it, as well as what encourages me is it's only 5 episodes.
Yeah,
that's a big.
I just remember technically another thing, but it's Marvel animation and not like part of the MCU. X-Men 97 started up, and I'll get around to that.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet. I never watched the original animated show, but all the clips that I've seen online have been pretty cool. That Cyclops epic landing scene was pretty awesome.
You've never seen any of the original 90s X-Men series?
I mean, I've seen clips here and there. I've never watched a full episode.
Whoa, dude. There's an episode. I remember there was an episode that my introduction to the X-Men was one day after my mom was like out of town on some sort of shopping or business trip. I don't remember what it was. She came home and just had like an X-Men VHS with the 2 episodes that introduced Magneto on it, and figuring that I would enjoy it, and I did.
Yeah.
And that was like my introduction to the X-Men, basically. And so like one of my most formative memories for like becoming a fan of superheroes was the episode where Professor X uses the famous Holocaust beam on Magneto, because like the way that he like
he has him like remember it all
in his first episode was he made him relive his Holocaust trauma.
Yeah. What's that one YouTuber, JJ something?
Oh, Solid JJ.
Yeah, he had a recent video where it was Professor X doing that to everyone.
Yeah, I love that.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, giving everybody the Holocaust beam.
It does it to Cyclops. Cyclops is like,
oh my god.
He's like, what? Did you not experience that? He's like, yeah, I experienced it. Yeah.
I saw everything. Yeah, it's, not that bad.
And Cyclops basically is a Holocaust denier.
So yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. The most recent one where it was from the old like 60s Fantastic Four cartoon when Reed outsmarts Magneto with a wooden gun.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Magneto's like, a wooden gun. That's it. And Reed's like, yes, only I, Mr. Fantastic, could have devised a plan so smart. I mean, it was like, but it's just a wooden gun, right? Like everything else around it is still metal. And he's like, and Reed's like, yes, but I called the cops and they're arresting you, and that's the end of it. That's how this works. And Magneto's like, they still have metal guns and a car and handcuffs and a bunch of things that I can just use my powers on. Like, this isn't over. It is over. I called the cops. They're arresting you. It's like, yeah, that's just. You just gave me ammunition. Oh, one of my favorite ones. This one isn't even a solid JJ video. I can't remember who it is. It'll pop up around on my YouTube again at some point. But there's one that he collaborated on where he was like a guest voice on it, where it's a Transformers thing, and Optimus is talking to Cliff Jumper, and Optimus is like, "All right, Cliff Jumper, we're getting ready to infiltrate the Decepticon base. So you and Reach Around are going to sneak around." And then Cliff Jumper's like, wait. Hang on. Reach Around? And then Optimus is like, yeah, Reach Around. What's wrong with that? Have you not met him? He's a new recruit. And then Cliff Jumper's like, what? His name is, you know what that means, right? Like, why is he named Reach Around? And Optimus is like, well, because the two of you are going to go around the back and reach the inside of the Decepticon base. Reach around. And like it just keeps escalating from there. That's like, well, if you don't want to go with Reach Around, you can always take Hand Job with you. What's wrong with Butt Plug? Look at that. You just had to tug on Butt Plug. You know, you could use a hand job in your life. Yeah, I'll find that video and I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah.
I love that video. It's just like one of my favorite genres of parody that like some YouTube memers have like cracked the code on. Solid JJ being one of them is making it funny, like making it humorous without betraying the core of the character.
Yeah.
Because like so many parodies are just like, oh, just make them the opposite. Like if this guy's a good guy, make him a douchebag. It's like, like no, that one is a parody by way of staying true to Optimus Prime as a character, so much so that he like is just accepting of other Autobots, no matter what their names are or how weird they are, how suggestive they are. It's just like his name's Reach Around. What's so wrong with Reach Around? What's wrong with Butt Plug? And like a Dubus Goobus is another good one for that. He's got a little series about Winnie the Pooh, where the whole joke is that everybody loves Winnie the Pooh so much for his like just raw, unadulterated innocence, that like he ends up becoming the ruler of the world against his will. Because everybody just agreed that he should be running things, and he's like, I don't really want to run things. I don't think I'm suited for it. And everybody's like, but Pooh, you're perfect. You're innocent. You should be the one in control. And Pooh's like, I just want to stay in my home and eat honey. And I want everyone to be happy.
Yeah, other than the it sounds bad because Winnie the Pooh is children's classic. Pretty much the only thing I think of now when thinking of Winnie the Pooh is yes, that universe that's happening, the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. The Poohniverse? Yeah. And then all the memes that happened like a few years ago of Chinese prime minister looking like Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. That was very wild. And what the reason I remember that, like the funny part to me is him, I think, banning Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, he got really mad about it.
That was the funny part to me of after all the memes banning Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have that much power to where if someone jokes and says you are this person or this character, it's like, well,
They
this
think I
this
look
isn't
like
allowed
Yellow
anymore.
Bear? No more Yellow Bear.
This poo, no longer allowed.
Get him out of China.
And with how like powerful China is and like the global economic scale, like that's a lot of power. The prime minister like banning Winnie the Pooh, because like I'm sure that ripples down into other countries. Not entirely a ban for them, but more like, hey, don't promote Winnie the Pooh.
Well, that's an entire, like, because it's really specific to the Disney version of Winnie the Pooh that people are comparing to anyway. So like that cuts into an entire franchise that Disney really can't do anything with in China now. If they can't do anything with it in China, they're not going to want to do anything with it at all.
Yeah, because that's that's at least a third of their market is China. Sometimes, depending on the movies or whatever, half of their market is China.
Yeah. So, like, one meme saying that the Prime Minister of China looks like Winnie the Pooh just led to the death of the Winnie the Pooh franchise, at least as Disney owns it.
Yeah. It's wild.
Kind of makes you wonder how that one movie studio can get away with making those movies about the Prime Minister of China being a serial killer.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah,
I am almost certain. I'm almost certain those movies were definitely banned in China. They weren't allowed to go to China. Yeah, let me see how that box office did of that recent one. Let's see. Box Office Mojo.
This this for the listeners, this Pooniverse thing is probably going to be a pretty long saga for me and Brandon.
Yeah, this is going
to be something that just comes up regularly now.
Yeah, and I never got to go see the second one. It was just a busy week last week. But the plus side is this will be on streaming in like maybe a month at most. So, this might not sound shocking to Teo or others. I'm kind of surprised at how little it made. It made, according to this, it could have been a little bit more, but it made a little over $500,000. I thought it'd make like at least a couple million.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have made like $1 million.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't.
It literally did half my expectations for it.
Yeah, what was the budget? I'm sure they still made a profit, but ooh, okay. It had a budget of around 500,000.
Oh dang! So they barely broke even.
Yeah.
Did they even break even? How like? Oof. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Some of these
saga
sources
might be shorter than we thought.
Yeah, some of these sources are a bit off. Hold on.
Oh yeah, gotta verify your sources.
Yeah.
Come on, Brandon. We're real journalists now. I mean, we're not at all like approved by any organization or anything. And, like, we're not qualified and we're not reputable. And
Yeah,
we can say we're real journalists, so people will believe us.
exactly. Anything we say is true. Everything we said about Kong X Godzilla, Kong XOXO Godzilla was true.
Godzilla XXX Kong.
Yeah. Yeah, King Dong.
Dongzilla.
Okay, I think that is true. Yeah, so because the first one was made a little less than $100,000, this one had what seemed like 5 times the budget, so around 500,000.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe people got wise to this way faster than we thought they would.
But so here's the thing: it made 500,000 in theaters. It's also going to go to streaming on some sort of streaming thing. So it'll probably make. So it made 500,000 theaters. It'll probably make that amount on streaming. So
yeah, probably. Man, why does streaming have to be a factor in everything now?
Yeah.
Why can't we just look at raw box office to determine something's success anymore?
Well, that's also what sucks about streaming is like they never give you the definitive numbers on like this specific movie or because it's how do you quantify that? How they used to quantify that was, okay, we released this thing in theaters, it didn't do so hot in theaters, but we can calculate the DVD and VHS sales, and through us calculating that, we see that it did good.
Yeah.
But with the addition of streaming, you don't know.
Yeah, none of these companies, for some reason, make any of their numbers public when it comes to their streaming services.
Yeah.
It's super annoying.
Yeah.
Because we can't, it leads to things where, frustratingly, beloved franchises, like stuff that pops up on Netflix, will get canceled after, 2 seasons, but then garbage that is almost universally hated except by the lowest common denominator brain dead consumer like Big Mouth goes on forever.
Yeah I miss Infinity Train very much.
I'm sad I never got to see Infinity Train.
Yeah, well, if my dog will ever shut up. Just go kick her. Let me see what she's barking at her.
Staple her to the wall. She'll quit. Oh, give him a swirly. Take your dog's face, stick it in the toilet, and then flush. Let's see here.
But I've already done that, and she never learns her lesson.
Shove him in a pillowcase and swing it around.
Done that 10 times.
This is probably why Frankie's blind and deaf. No, she's blind and deaf because she's old. I would never do any of this to my little girl.
Yeah, I think that's literally the reason my dog was barking, because I looked out the window. There's no one there.
Yeah.
I think there's no one there in our sight, in our hearing, but there could be a ghost.
Oh, it could be one of the Fae.
Yeah.
You could have Brandon. You could have a common hob living in your house.
A common hob?
Yes, they're small creatures who live in the walls and in the cupboards and under things, and they come out at night and they clean your house for you. And so at night when you go to bed, you leave out a bowl of cream to thank them. And if you don't show proper gratitude for the cleaning they do, they metamorphose into a boggart, and then they antagonize and harass you until you can make it up to them.
Oh, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it's just, all it costs is a bowl of cream every night.
Yeah.
Probably not even probably not even a super big bowl of cream. They're little guys.
Okay. So what's the antagonizing and annoying stuff they do?
Oh, well, the boggarts, it really depends on your sources, the lore that you believe in. They can turn into giant creatures and beat you to death in your sleep, or
okay,
or the one that I've seen more commonly is they make your milk go sour. They actually leave your house dirtier than when you left it in the night instead of cleaning it up. They'll leave thumbtacks out on the floor for you to step on.
They sound like mobsters.
Yeah.
Mobsters would tell you hey, pay this insurance. We got you. We'll protect you. And then when you don't pay, bad stuff happens because they do it.
Yeah. It's like a maid that you only have to give a little bit of cream every night, and if you don't, she leaves thumbtacks on your floor.
I guess I'll give the maid some cream then.
I'd like to give the maid some cream, if you know what I mean. Okay, you can cut that one. Yeah, and also depending on your source for lore, when it's a hob, the good one, if you move out of the house, it'll stay. It stays in the house and keeps cleaning for whoever lives there next. But when it transforms into a boggart, it will follow you to the next house until you make it happy.
Can it ever like de-transform? Like if I do eventually give like cream, will it go back to a hob?
Yeah. Once you make it up to the boggart, it transforms back into a hob.
Okay.
If it's the mischievous version, if it's the beat you to death version, I don't think there's any going back.
Yeah. What if I forgot to leave out the cream, and I was asleep in my bed, and the boggart is approaching my bed, and like has his arms up, and he's about to slam them down and crush me, but I haven't been asleep this whole time. I roll over, and I have a bowl of cream right there, like in my lap. I'm like, I have it. It's okay. I have got the cream. Will he accept it then, or am I going to get smashed?
I have no idea. I don't think anybody's ever tried that.
Someone should try that. We need to know. I need to know these findings.
Yeah, risk your life. If you have a hob in your house, risk your life.
Because also, I wouldn't say like have just one helping or one serving of cream when you do that, because he's still probably going to be pretty ticked off. Like you didn't give him cream before. Make sure you have like at least a double scoop or a double helping in that bowl that you have when you roll over and you surprise him. You're like, I'm not asleep. I actually have cream for it. And yes, I forgot to leave some out the night before. And to make up for that, I have a double helping of it here.
I think they also like crackers with honey on them.
And also, under my pillow, I pull out a tray, crackers and pillow, or crackers and honey. You can eat the pillow as well if you want.
Well, I mean, the underside of your pillow is going to be coated in honey, so they may as well.
Well, no. I don't know how much honey he likes on his crackers, so it was still in the bottle.
So you're gonna make him squeeze his own honey onto the cracker?
I can squeeze it for him, but I need to know when.
Out of context.
I'll ask him. I'll say when, and it's like the Olive Garden cheese grater. I'll say when, with the honey on the cracker. I think that could work. Someone try that. If you live, come back to me with results.
Yeah, with this creature that's very real and actually exists.
Yes.
Hobs can also be known as the common house brownie.
Why is it called a brownie?
I have no idea, dude. I don't know.
It's weird.
Hob can also be a word for goblin, depending on like what language you're speaking.
Ah. What do they prefer to be called?
I have no idea. I've never talked to one.
I just want to make sure I'm not offending. I'm not just using this term that us humans came up with.
Yeah.
And we just kept calling them that when really it was offensive this whole time.
You slept in my house a couple weeks ago. I think you can speak from firsthand experience. I don't have any hobs living here.
I don't think there were.
There were too many dishes on the counter for that to be the case.
Well, maybe you just didn't give them some cream. All right, let me see. Movies. This year, Godzilla Lizard was nice. Yeah, because it was multiplied the lizards, multiplied the apes. It was nice.
Yeah.
I recently I haven't even read it yet. I mean, I've read it before, but I haven't reread it. I recently finally got a copy of my own of The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. We've been talking about a bunch of nonsense this whole podcast, but this is true wisdom, folks. I recommend buying this book. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I read it like a year ago. I think I even talked about it. Do what?
It's a bit of a cumbersome title.
It is. But fantastic book. I'm going to reread it. It takes like 20 to 30 minutes to read. It's not a long book, but can take you longer if you really want to sit there with the page you just read, because there's some deep wisdom for an all ages book. Like, yeah, give this to children, let them read it. They'll get something out of it. But you can be 30-year-old dad. You can read this. You'd be like, daggum, son, give me that. I need to read that. You'll take it away from your kid.
You push him over.
Yeah, be like, give me that. You don't understand some of this stuff.
That's too good
Then
for you.
Read it. Then you read it. You're like, maybe you could, just in a different context, your childlike context.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll give you a wedgie later.
You better bring another book for me tomorrow, you punk.
I know there's one fish, two fish bull crap.
Yeah.
Bring me
I want something. I want something that has some meat and potatoes to it. I want some Cat in the Hat. Okay? I want something that's more than a 20-page children's book. I want something with some depth to it. I want a 64-page children's book. Bring me Cat in the Hat.
Bring me Cat in the Hat. Bring me Everybody Poops.
And Friday, if I don't see Where the Wild Things Go, or Where the Wild Things Are, or whatever the heck it's called.
That's Where the Wild
I
Things
don't
Are.
see that. Okay, yeah. If I don't see that, you can see your head in the toilet Friday.
And
you
I
won't be able to see it. Your head will be in the toilet, but I'll film it, and you can see later your head in the toilet.
And I won't be cleaning it.
No.
And your mom's been feeling pretty grumpy this week, if you know what I mean. So the toilet's going to be extra gross.
Mom's been pretty grumpy. My IBS has been kicking in this week. So all I'm trying to say is you better bring that Where the Wild Things Are.
What a horrible father.
He learned all of this wisdom and knowledge of parenting from the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse.
That's okay. It toughens your kid up. Gets them ready for the real world.
Yeah. Where
the real world
people
dumps your head in a toilet filled with IBS poop and period blood.
Yeah. This happens on a regular basis to adults. So it's just preparing you for it. There are a decent bit of stuff that happened to us as kids, as teenagers, where adults would say, well, it's preparing you for the real world. There's a decent bit of stuff that did do that. I'm trying to think of some examples, but I feel like there's a decent bit of stuff that didn't do that. Where it was simply like, no, what did this prepare me for?
This is just a bad thing that happened.
Yeah, this just sucked. Like, this isn't as bad. This isn't like trauma, but like algebra. All these algebra classes didn't prepare me. The only thing it prepared me for was like, you'll have to do homework in college. And even then, the homework's different. It's not math problems. Like, yes, math, what it does teach you is problem solving to a degree, but like high school math, I should say. But there are many other courses and classes that can teach you problem solving.
Yeah.
So
like problem solving class.
Yeah, have problem solving class.
I don't know why that one's an elective.
I don't need this bullcrap metaphor through doing all these number problems of figuring out, obviously I'm not going to use any of this number math algebra calculus bullcrap in the real world. But hey, I'm glad I got the metaphor, the analogy of problem solving.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got that out of it.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to figure out why Jeremy stapled 34 watermelons to a train traveling eastbound at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, Jeremy was just a psychopath. Jeremy was like a stupid psycho. Like, he wanted to watch the world burn, but he just was awful at trying to make it happen.
How do you even staple watermelons to a train?
that was the issue. Jeremy thought he could do it.
It turns out the solution was X equals 4.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they got to that part.
Had Jeremy been able to calculate all that correctly, he would have been able to derail that train. But no. He's over here stapling watermelons to the train.
You want to learn how to solve real problems? Become a philosophy major.
Yes. Yeah. Where you're
you can't even think of joke examples.
Yeah, because I took a couple philosophy classes. Philosophy is interesting. Philosophy major, I think, is so stupid.
Yeah,
but,
it's kind of a waste.
Yeah, like taking a couple classes is interesting though. But it's like all you're doing is just constantly asking more and more questions. Come on, man.
Yeah, like I learned a little bit of like a really, really basic entry level philosophy in like my humanities and social sciences classes last year, but yeah, like I'm okay leaving it at surface level.
Yeah,
personally, because philosophy is a topic that interests me, but not enough for me to actually study it, even as like just an elective class.
Yeah, that's the thing is I like deep conversations. I like that deep thinking and stuff. You know how I like that though? I like it when it's just a casual conversation with a group of people at an event or at your house or whatever, where it's party talk basically.
Yeah.
Like you're at a house gathering or a party and you're just talking. I don't care about the scholar academic level of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm never going to be invited to those areas. I'm stuck at the house the house party area, the house gathering. I don't need the scholarly philosophy talk. I just need the talking to people that are drunk and smoke weed talk.
Yeah.
That's the people that are around at these house gatherings. If I can just have one nugget of them then going like, man, wow, can't believe you said that.
Yeah, I'm stuck at the sort of house party where like it's supposed to be fun, but nobody's been drinking because Frank locked up all the alcohol and he won't let anybody have any. And every time you talk to him, he's like, how's it going, dude? Staying away from the alcohol. And then like you go out into the living room and Stephanie's dancing like she's already high, but you know she hasn't had anything yet. She's just weird. And then like Madison, who's hosting the party, is like encouraging me to free her sister's like boa constrictor, like as a joke. And it's like, that doesn't sound like fun. And then Dan and Aaron fall out of a hot air balloon on their way to a live show, and that's the kind of house party I'm stuck at.
Yeah, Frank is just over the top,
and I forgot to put my sensor bar away, so everybody's freaking out about that. I keep forgetting to look down. I don't even realize it's still out.
You just get Frank to wander into another room and you just try to grab something. Just grab a bottle. It's one bottle. You're not even going to drink it. You're just touching the bottle.
You're getting it for Patrick.
You're getting it for Patrick.
And then you got to tell Frank that Patrick's got alcohol, and then Frank's like, "Oh, he's dead," and then he goes after him.
Yeah, and he doesn't even check Patrick.
He doesn't. He just starts punching him right away until Patrick gets like knocked out on the floor.
You just told Frank that Patrick has alcohol, and Patrick is an alcoholic, and Frank is like, "Oh, this dude's dead," and he knocks him out. Who invited Frank?
Who did invite Frank? Like, they knew he was going to do that. Do you know what I'm referencing?
Yeah, that video game. Yeah.
Just making sure, because I was thinking, like, if he doesn't know what I'm referencing, he's going shockingly well along with this.
I haven't seen a lot of Game Grumps, but that was one of the series where I watched the whole thing because I was so intrigued.
Yeah.
The story was riveting.
Yeah. It was. And the fact that they actually, like, got to be in the game, too, because they liked it so much.
Yeah.
As it was being developed. Yeah, that started as like a porn game.
Yeah.
And then I think it still technically is, but
Yeah, all I know, because they did different playthroughs. They were trying to see if they could get with everyone.
Yeah.
And Frank sucks all around. But then if you're trying to get with him,
he certainly does.
He does. but to get to that though, from what I remember, it's really hard to get to that point with Frank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it took them so many steps.
What was that? And then there's a painting in one of the sitting rooms where you look at it, he just goes,
yeah.
That's the kind of house party I'm stuck at.
Yeah. What was that called? House Party? What was the game called?
I think it was called House Party.
Okay. Yeah. And I was exaggerating in terms of the there being drunken people or high people.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to a social outing, but occasionally there are people that are there. And if you can slip in one little commoner philosophy talk, you slip that in, you blow their mind right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like my friends are usually high when I'm hanging out with them. So as the only like clear-headed guy in the room at any given moment, I do a lot to mess with them.
Yeah, Teo is Socrates in the room.
Yes, behold a man.
Yeah.